So the DLC's been out for a few days, everyone is now acclimated to the new cars, to the new stunt races, and in this video, I just wanted to have a little discussion with you guys about this DLC and how I and some other people that I've seen on the internet think this is the best DLC Rockstar has ever added to GTA Online. And hopefully we can have some civilized discussion in the comments section, because I already know there's going to be people that absolutely hate this DLC because it's not what they wanted, and then there's some people like me who absolutely love the DLC, and then there's going to be people in the middle who, you know, thought it was a pretty okay DLC. But I'm going to go through some pros and cons of why I think it's the best DLC. I mean, like any other thing in GTA Online, it definitely has issues, and it could be improved, and maybe Rockstar will do that. Probably not, though, just because they really don't fix the major problems in the game, it seems. But we'll start with the pros first. And honestly, there aren't many, just because, like, there wasn't much, I guess, in this DLC compared to, like, the CEO stuff. There was a lot more gameplay mechanics in the CEO stuff. However, there's one huge pro, which is why, for me, this is the best DLC that they've ever released. Even better than Heist, in my opinion. And I know that might be a little bit crazy to some people, but to me, they're better. So, the pros. Stunt races. I freaking love them. Just the ones Rockstar made. Now, yeah, if you play them over and over again, they're going to get kind of boring, kind of repetitive, but obviously August 2nd is when the Stunt Creator comes out, so there'll be a ton more races when that does drop. We also got 13 new cars that are already in the game, plus the 6 cars that are unreleased. That's 19 cars in one DLC, and for the most part, all of those are really good. The 3 supercars are freaking incredible. The 2 sports cars, they're not good in terms of the, you know, racing and all that, but they're really good off-road, which is surprising, and it's kind of unfortunate because you don't really ever race off-road with sports cars, but whatever. The truck that's going to be coming, you know, it's cool. That's probably one of the weakest vehicles in my opinion. The other sports car, the Lynx, I'm sure that'll be really fast and really good. The 2 motorcycles, not really sure about the Cliffhanger, but the Gargoyle is freaking awesome. It's so unique. I love the liveries on it. The trophy trucks, honestly, are something that I kind of wish we had in the game at the beginning. I kind of wish we would have, or they would have been like Benny's upgrades for, say, the Rusty Red Bull or something. You bring it there and then you can make it a trophy truck. But now that we actually have, you know, legit trophy trucks in the game, that's cool. They're not as fast as I kind of would have hoped, to be honest, but I guess for balancing purposes, because they are in the off-road class, they had to do that. That's why I almost wish they got rid of the class system, at least, or give us the option to, like, just get rid of that in races or something, so they could add cars that wouldn't traditionally be fat, so they could add cars, let me rephrase that, like the trophy truck, but have it be really fast, even though it completely breaks its category, like it's off-road. It could be equivalent to like one of the fastest sports cars, so you could use it competitively against sports vehicles. I really wish like something along those lines would happen. I don't think it ever will, though, unfortunately. But yeah, the trophy trucks were awesome. Even the fact that they added the cars from single player, the livery cars from single player, like that's something. They made them free if you had them in single player, so that's really cool. And then the last pro, and this is the one that just like makes this DLC for me, is that this DLC, with the creator at least, like come August 2nd, I know right now not really, but come August 2nd, this DLC is going to single-handedly, for me at least, increase the longevity and the playability of the game. Because for 2.5 years, we were using, because, alright, for me personally, the best part about GTA is the racing. Like, I don't really like the shooting aspect of it, just because if I wanted to do that, I would go play an actual first-person shooter. GTA's never really been the best when it comes to shooting mechanics, and like some of the guns are just overpowered. Sometimes the lag just never works. You shoot a guy in the head 1,000,000 times, they don't ever die. They shoot you once and you die. But at its core, like, racing is freaking solid in this game. It's one of the best racing games in my opinion, like out of the games that are specifically just for racing. And this DLC increases that. It adds on to that genre, that aspect of the game, which is like the strength of GTA Online. And like I was saying, for the past 2.5 years, we were constantly playing the races that people made. And, you know, for the first 1.5 years, 2 years almost, they were fun, but, you know, sort of towards the last couple of months, you kept seeing the same races, just spirals and spirals over and over again. It got kind of repetitive. Racing kind of got dry. But with this is gonna like reinvigorate the racing community because there's so many props. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen all the props that they have in the stunt creator, but there's like 400 props. It's insane. And the awesome creators that make the races, like when they get their hands on those, it's gonna be ridiculous to see the races they can actually come up with. There's gonna be so many different possibilities. I even saw that because there's like the soccer ball now, we'll have like a freaking Rocket League mode in GTA. And then there's the all the boosts and everything. That's like your sort of Mario Kart mode. And then if you just wanted to be sort of traditional, I'm sure there'll be races that are sort of like the Indy 500 or races like that where you just go in a lap for, a long time. And because of this creator, because of this DLC, we'll have so many more options. So that's why, to me, this DLC is the best. Now, if you don't like racing, then yeah, I totally understand why you wouldn't like this DLC. And you probably are like, dude, Saintsfan, you're crazy. This DLC is not the greatest, but that's why, to me, it's the best. Now getting into the cons, and like I said, this DLC is good. It does have its problems, and honestly, there are quite a few. So, one, yeah, there are 19 cars, and I guess you got to just think of it like, okay, it's either, I guess, 19 cars or maybe 6 or 7 cars with a bunch of customization, perhaps. But out of those 19 cars, maybe like 2 or 3 have decent customization. And maybe it's expecting too much, but I was hoping that with this DLC, we'd have a bunch of cars that had the amount of customization like the Sultan and the Banshee. Those cars are by far the best cars in the game when it comes to customization just because of the amount. And I mean, I guess all the lowriders too, but the lowriders are kind of forgotten now. The Sultan is still one of the best cars though, because it's really fun to drive and it's a cool looking car. So yeah, I would have wished that some of these cars had more customization and not just 2 liveries. Also, this is just a con of every DLC, I feel like. It costs way too much money for stuff, man. It sucks that for, let's see, $100, that is $40 more than the actual game costs itself. That gives you $8 million in GTA Online, and that would only get you maybe 3 of those new cars. Like, that just doesn't seem right. You're paying more than the game itself, and you're only getting 3 cars. I just wish that the costs were not as expensive. Also, and I guess I'll put this in the con category. The supercars that they added are just super broken. Like the Annis RE7B, I think it is. If you put the carbon spoiler on it, it's not competitive at all because it smokes every car out of the water. Like, if you're in one of those stunt races, especially the one where you go straight downhill, you just, blow past everyone. And it kind of sucks in races because that's what everyone uses, and there's not as much variety in the races. And you kind of feel at a disadvantage if you don't use that car because you're like, well, why would I not use that if I use a regular T20 or the Tyrus or something, I'm gonna lose if it comes down to a straightaway. So maybe they'll fix that, maybe they won't, but it kind of sucks that that's the case now. And then speaking along the lines of the sports cars, like the rally ones that they added, not the links, but the rally ones that they added, they're not competitive in the sports class. And I know I kind of mentioned that in the pros, that they're good off-roading, but again, it comes down to, like, in races, the same thing with the trophy truck. Like, if they're not going to be that good in the sports class, then why even put them there? Put them in a class that they actually become competitive in, because then they're cars that you can either A, just use in free mode, or B, you don't use them at all because they just sit in your garage, or C, you use them in sports races and you get absolutely smoked. Now, I guess once the stunt race creator comes out and people make courses specifically made for those vehicles, then it'll be fine. But it just sucks that they added them into the game, and they're really amazing looking. Like, I love the looks of those cars, but they're not going to have that much of a use because they're not that competitive. So those were all the pros and the cons that I could think of. Obviously, if you think of anything else, let me know in the comments. But despite all of those cons and all of those negatives, like, the stunt race creator by itself is the saving grace of this DLC. And honestly, I would almost go as far as saying it's the saving grace of GTA Online, because up until now, I've seen so many people say, oh, GTA Online's dying, it's getting boring. Even the CEO stuff, like, that could have been something good, but Rockstar completely botched that, and I think many people are playing that still just because of the freaking issues in public lobbies. It's just not worth it to go through all the loopholes of getting into a public lobby by yourself to get the amount of money that you make. Like, it's not that much money for all the time and effort you put in, especially as an associate. You get like nothing for it. So that's kind of unfortunate with that DLC. But this one, with these stunt races, once people start seeing the ones that the community will make, or that they make, people are going to come back to the game because they want to play that stuff. And that's why this is the best DLC, in my opinion. So you guys let me know in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree? Again, hopefully we can keep it civilized in the comment section. But see you all in the next video. Drop a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more awesome GTA content. As always, though, it's your boy Saintsfan. I'm out. Peace.